Welcome to the 2015 USSSA Summer Championship Series powered by MLB.com. It's the first of two 13U semifinals today in the President's Day Super NIT from Archbishop McCarthy. And number one, it's the Miramar Canes taking on Team Panama. As we welcome you to our broadcast, so glad to have you with us. Tyson Hanisch with me. I'm Bernie Gunther. Tyson, we have the defending National Youth Champions here in this game in Team Panama. This is the number one team in the country right now.
Yeah, they looked really sharp already this afternoon, out taking the field during pregame and in the batting cage. So looking forward to seeing some great activity out here on the field.
And what an exciting opportunity it is to be able to have these top 13-year-olds battling right down here in Miami.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The weather's great. I know a lot of the rest of the country is dealing with snow and cold weather, so sun is shining, the grass is green. We're ready to play some baseball.
Now we'll turn our attention to the field. We are ready for baseball down here in Miami. 13U Super NIT. Check out our lineups today.
First for Miramar, the center fielder number 2,
Mike Arroyo, the center fielder. And it's going to be the leadoff hitter, followed by Ray Banks, Nico Boza, the shortstop, Jake Rivero, the first baseman, Shane Pearson follows him. We'll get back to the lineup in a moment as baseball now finally underway. It's probably one of the biggest advantages, I would say, Tyson, of having the opportunity to play baseball early, and that's one of the beautiful things about having baseball here in the Sunshine State is how often you get to play really year-round.
Yeah, these kids are already out here right in middle of February, putting on the cleats, getting out on the field, and yeah, this will be great.
Big cut there. Team Panama, Hugo Villalobos, their starting pitcher. And this is a guy that really can throw some heat, Tyson.
Yeah, mix it up with a little off speed there, keep the batters off balance. But we'll see how hard he throws through the rest of the game and see how these hitters adjust.
Here's the 2-2. Three and two to the leadoff hitter.
Good leadoff hitter here, seeing some pitches. On deck guy gets to see a chance to see some pitches before he gets in the box.
This is Michael Arroyo, the center fielder. Swing and a miss, and we have a strikeout to start the ball game. An impressive start for Hugo Villalobos.
Good energy behind him with the infielders. They're ready to play. These kids are ready to be out here.
Number 23, Ray Banks.
And so that'll bring Ray Banks, the second baseman, to the plate. It's all about getting off to a good start. That's probably the hardest thing, especially for the teams up north, is really trying to dust off those cobwebs.
Yeah, sure. These are the early games of the year, and unlike MLB, where they get a spring training and prep and get to be outside for a while, these kids are putting on their uniforms right away and taking the field.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Looks like it just missed down and away here. 2-1, 1 down. Lead off the first inning here.
Villalobos, the pitcher out of Panama City, Panama, 13 years old, 5'4". His favorite team is Detroit. He was excited because he had an opportunity to pitch in the Elite World Series in the final. But a miss there, and we see the Miramar Canes with their first base runner of the ball game as Banks gets aboard with a walk.
As we'll see the defense in the middle infield shift here to double play depth. These kids are really active, really excited to be out here today. have their game televised on MLB.com, so we're all set.
Nico Boza now is the batter. Shortstop for the Canes. Be really good for the Canes to get on the board early here, especially against the #1 team in USSSA. Jim Duquette's going to be with us in a moment as well, and
he's got to find the zone here. 2-0. Trying to make adjustment. The last hitter, he was a little bit down in the zone and away. Missed up there.
2 balls, no strikes, make it 3-0.
You know, what I like to see here is great leadership by the second baseman here. Last guy drew a walk. Now he's sitting 3-0. Second baseman comes up, gives him a little pep talk, gets him back, hopefully in the zone.
One on, and Nico Boza at the plate. Gets the outside corner, called strike. Beautiful pitch there.
Yeah, great spot, great spot. This team, Panama, I can't express enough, is showing great fundamentals out there behind him. Pre-pitch routine as the pitcher comes set, all looks fantastic. You can tell these kids are sure talented.
Well, Boza thought that he had walked for a moment, but instead they're going to bring him back into the box. And a chopper to third. They go to second and get one, and back to first. Nearly a double play. That's one of the things here at 13, even on this big field. This is one of the big adjustments for them. They still have a lot of weapons out there on the infield.
Yeah, very difficult adjustment to get to this 90-foot diamond for these kids. But you can see these good turn there at second, good throws around the diamond, just missed the one to first base. Good backup though by the catcher. So again, all the fundamentals here are showing up early.
So Nico Boza on a fielder's choice. Jake Ravio, the first baseman now, with an opportunity.
But again, great adjustment by the pitcher here. Second baseman 3-0 came in and gave him a little note, was in the zone, got a ground ball. Now we're set with 2 outs here with the guy in first.
Cleanup hitter. They say that he can hit the wall anywhere he throws in the outfield, so he's got a tremendous rocket for an arm, especially for just a 13-year-old. 1-0. Foul back.
Great presence in the batting box too. You can see his stance, good setup, good hand location. We'll see if he squares up a ball here. Hit something in the gap, score this guy from first.
1-1 with 2 away here in the top of the first. #1 team in USSSA, Team Panama. In our early game, it'll be the MVP Banditos and the West Pine Cobras in our second game. And really, Tyson, just 4 powerhouse teams down here in Miami. The star power is amazing.
Yeah, this is a fantastic collection of kids and teams to start out the season.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
We'll see if the coach puts this guy in motion here. Sends him to second. Runner will be moving now. Full count, 2 outs.
Good lead at first for Nico Boza. Hugo Villalobos trying to get set. Payoff pitch to the cleanup hitter for the Miramar Canes. And they miss low, and there's 2 aboard. one of the great things that you have going with the MLB Digital Academy is these athletes have an opportunity now to capture their swing, capture their pitch, and basically compare it to their major league star that's one of their favorite players. Isn't that something special?
Yeah, it's something really excited about. These kids now have the opportunity to upload their hitting and pitching videos to a collection of MLB players on the MLB.com Digital Academy website. So these kids are really talented, so we like to see these kids' videos come through the site. See how their swing compares in 6 different stages to those MLB players that they select.
I know one of the special things when you take a look, Jim Jenks from Major League Baseball.com and MLB Advanced Media here, and they have a story that's running right now on MLB.com where the players remembering their time as a 13-year-old. You think back to being a youth baseball player. What was it like for you when you were playing at this level?
Well, I had the opportunity to play USSSA growing up, so this is close to my family experiences. But something like this early in the season, get these kids on the field would be great.
Villalobos, 2 strikeouts in the first. Team Panama, the defending national champion, will come to the plate when we come back. Welcome back to the 2015 USSSA Summer Championship Series, powered by MLB.com. Tyson Hanich from the MLB Digital Academy joining me here for the first inning. Jim Duquette, just getting off his radio show, will be joining us a little bit later. But, pretty special to have the opportunity to showcase some of the top youth players in the country this weekend, and what a great platform to have it on MLB.com.
Yeah, this is great. This has started out a collection of series and showcase events throughout the year on MLB.com with USSSA, so we're excited to get this first one underway and see some of these players and on MLB.com.
As our starters for Team Panama, Enrique Bradfield starts off in center field, followed by Fernando Gonzalez in left. Derek Arroyo is the shortstop. Vieira, the designated hitter today, followed by Moya. Villalobos, pitcher, hitting 6th. Rodriguez, 7th. Abner Benitez at first base, 8th. And Carlos Castillo will round out the lineup today as they go up against Eric Lewis, who will be the starting pitcher for the Miramar Kings. And he's going to have a real challenge trying to take these stars on Team Panama and hold them at bay. What's it like to go up against a lineup as powerful as Team Panama?
Well, I haven't had the experience to see Team Panama in person yet in a game setting, but I was down here in the cage with them 30 minutes, 45 minutes before the game, and they got some kids that can swing it for sure.
Enrique Bradfield will lead things off. I would assume, as you take a look at the head coach for the Canes, that maybe a little bit of goosebumps, as you will. Vinny Rodriguez, the head coach for the Canes, playing on TV where every moment being captured. What is it like at 13? Well, this is something nobody really had the opportunity to do back in the olden days, if you will.
Yeah, that's for sure. I definitely didn't have this kind of experience playing growing up, and this is a fantastic opportunity for these kids. Hopefully part of the life lessons and life experiences that they get through baseball, this will be a highlight of their baseball moments.
Enrique Bradfield, first pitch down and inside, a ball. Center fielder for Team Panama. Certainly has tremendous speed at the top of the lineup, and he hits this one. Now, this is an absolutely beautiful facility, Archbishop McCarthy High School down here, the home of the Mavericks. They won 4 state championships in a row in 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013. So you know this is a program that certainly has some huge potential down here high school-wise.
Yeah, I spoke to some of their players early on when I first arrived, and I think they've started the first 4 games outscoring their opponents about 45-4. So,
it's a team you'd like to pitch for, that's for sure, right?
Some good baseball being played on this diamond.
1 ball, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the first inning. Lewis. That's this one grounded to third. Nice little grab there by the third baseman. Michael Miranda over to first. And the play made for out number 1. How about that for some defense?
Fantastic play all the way around. Good scoop. Picked him up at first base. I did notice the speed getting down to first base made that play even a little bit more difficult.
The left fielder, number 99.
Here's another look.
Fernando Gonzalez.
Great play on that tough high hop. Again, you can see the adjustment to the 90-foot diamond for these kids. It's a challenge to make that throw across the diamond from third base right now. Again, as I pointed out for Team Panama, the infielders, great pre-pitch routines here, moving when the pitcher starts his delivery.
Fernando Gonzalez is the batter. Look at the positioning for him, about as far back as one can possibly be. What is the advantage, if you will, of being so far back in the batter's box?
Well, a lot of it comes in that first initial stance stage as, you know, personal comfort or routine for the hitter. It comes down to kind of personal preference.
It's down and outside. It's 2-1. Good start for Eric Lewis here. Getting a ground out from Bradfield, but the top 3 very good, as you see there. Line drive, base hit out of the right field. And Gonzalez is headed to second. He's going to go for 3. Sliding triple. And the defending national champions already threatening here in the bottom of the first inning.
Fantastic swing path through the zone to drive a ball like that down into the right field corner. See where this pitch location is. Yeah, staying on the pitch. The bat path staying on the pitch as long as possible, able to drive that line drive over the first baseman's head.
And you got to love his hustle. Racing around.
You see the first baseman covering second, back in the trailing the runner there.
So a triple for Gonzalez, and here's Derek Arroyo now, the shortstop.
A couple of big kids here matched up here.
It's a little bit spacious as far as the sides, especially with the way the dugouts come in, but still not necessarily an opportunity to make a play there, but that's what you like, a lot of room to make some plays in foul territory, especially if you're a pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. It would make it interesting for these catchers. Looks like a back concrete cement wall back there, so we'll see with runner on third here, you know, any pass ball or any movement behind the plate here, see what happens.
Ball and a strike to Arroyo. An opportunity for Team Panama to push across the first run of the game. Arroyo also out of Panama City, Panama, 5'9", weighs 148 pounds. His favorite team, the San Francisco Giants.
It's interesting, I see there Hanley Ramirez being his favorite player, being a Dodger, former Dodger now, moving on obviously to the Boston Red Sox, but interesting dynamic with your favorite player and your favorite team there.
2-1. A ball, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, let's see if he can get his favorite pitch here, put his best swing on it, drive something into the outfield is his objective right here with 1 out, guy on third.
It's 305 down the left field line, 285 to right field, and 385 to dead center field. So still, especially for 13-year-olds, this is a very spacious ballpark and a lot of space for Derek Arroyo to try to put it in to pick up the first run of the ball game for Team Panama.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the infield diamond being a little bit big, but
bouncing ball to short. Run's going to score, and Arroyo is aboard safely. He used his speed to get aboard with what I assume they would refer to as a hit, and it will be the second hit of the ball game.
yeah, again, the timing and the strategy and the structure here of these kids playing the middle infield, slow rollers like that to the shortstop. Got to come through that ball, field it, and field on the run, throw on the run to have a shot to get him there.
Nick Veras now, the designated hitter. Panama up by a run. It all started with the triple by Gonzalez.
Yeah, that ball in the corner was a good example, too. We talked about the size of the infield diamond being a little bit big for these kids at this age, but the outfield, there's a lot of grass out there to cover.
Arroyo getting the lead at first. Veras right here out of Miami. 5'8", 178 pounds. His favorite player is Hanley Ramirez. And he's a Marlins fan, and you know they got a bunch of them obviously down here in South Florida, and it's interesting, you know, you take a look at kind of the highs and lows that have been the Marlins over the years, but this is a franchise that still has won more world titles than my favorite team, the Cubs, especially over the last decade or so.
Yeah, and locking in Giancarlo Stanton, you know, a signature player that they can build around and hopefully, you know, make another run at that World Series over the next couple of years. Obviously, the announcement with the All-Star game in 2017 being in Miami is also exciting down here.
Well, the ballpark really just about 30 minutes from here. It's probably closer distance-wise, but it's hard to go anywhere real fast in South Florida with the traffic. Up and inside, gets away, and Arroyo now on his way to third. And it was a good start for Eric Lewis getting the ground out, but now he's gotten himself into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, another runner on third here now. We'll see if he can get back in the zone, work down through the knees, get these last 2 outs to finish up the inning.
Talk about the MLB Digital Academy. That's one of the things you could do as a pitcher is upload your footage onto the web and essentially go toe-to-toe and match some of the big leaguers. What's the great attribute for these players? What are they able to learn by doing that?
Well, a visual comparison is such an important teaching tool. And having these players be able to be side by side next to MLB players is just a fantastic teaching tool. Break their swing into 6 key stages, whether that's the swing or the pitching delivery, and hopefully give a visual perspective to kind of the instructional process.
If you go to MLBDigitalAcademy.com/USSSA, you got some footage at home that probably could be up and running in, what, 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. All the technology is automated, so you go through the instructional process, which takes about 30 or 40 minutes, but we immediately output an analysis report for you and give you tips and instruction on how to get better.
16 pitches thrown by Eric Lewis here in the first inning. Two, 1. It's going to drift and go out of play. It'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes as the Miramar Kings looking for their second out of this contest.
See if he can get a strikeout here, leave this guy on third with 2 outs. Hopefully, or move to 2 outs with a runner on third and get out of the inning here without letting them score that guy from third.
Team Panama defeated the West Pine Cobras 7-0 in pool play action, and they took down the MVP Banditos 4-2. So their bats have been very good so far in this contest. Miramar Canes lost to the West Pine Cobras 11-4 and lost to the Banditos yesterday 7-2 in early action. But again, a lot can happen from pool play to bracket play, especially when you get your top pitchers ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we talked about, this could be the first time these kids are out on the field this spring. Get these hitters a little bit more comfortable, get their timing back, and who knows what can happen in bracket play.
Payoff pitch 3-2. Rip foul. They'll try it again. An opportunity to bring in Derek Arroyo, who has an RBI here in the contest. First of two. And you see Eric Lewis, he's already thrown 20 pitches here in the first inning. Certainly making him work. Popped up into right field and caught. Shane Pearson with some composure, but it's going to go as a sacrifice fly as Derek Arroyo comes in to score the second run of the ball game. Still a nice piece of hitting by the designated hitter bringing in the run.
Yeah, that's the objective with the guy on third and less than 2 outs. Get something into the outfield, bring him in. That's a quality at bat right there.
So Nick Veras puts his bat on the ball, hits it the opposite way, and brings in the second run. And now with 2 outs, it's Robert Moya at the plate.
We'll see if he can be efficient with the pitch count to this at bat. Get out of this first inning without too many more pitches thrown.
Strike call to start off the at bat to Moya, number 15.
And obviously the management of pitch count at this level is so crucially important in keeping these kids' arms healthy. A lot of news and reports of things happening at the major league level with Tommy John, but it all starts with these kids and monitoring and managing their pitch counts to keep these kids' arms healthy.
What do you recommend if you're a parent? Because obviously that's probably where the most proactive state can be, as you see the line for Lewis, 10 balls, 13 strikes, and 23 total pitches thrown.
Yeah, for parents, obviously the coach's responsibility first and foremost. But the parents, you have to make sure that these kids aren't playing on multiple teams, multiple leagues, which is happening a lot right now, where the coaches can't even necessarily manage and monitor the pitch counts throughout the season because these kids are playing on multiple teams. So as a parent's role, make sure throughout the season that their kids' arms are staying healthy by not playing on multiple teams.
Is there a number you're comfortable with on a weekend? Is it a number of pitches, a number of innings that you'd want your kid to work at 13 years old?
Yeah, it's all about pitch count, not innings count for me. There's a lot of great reports and great resources out there. We'll be releasing some coming soon information on the Digital Academy site to help parents and coaches with the appropriate guidelines for pitches and pitch limits, especially in a weekend like this where there's pool and bracket play. It can become a long time on the mound for teams.
2-2. Bouncer to short, and this should end the inning, but it does not. The throw offline from the shortstop, Nico Boza. And so it pulls the first baseman off, and not a whole lot that Rivero can do there.
No, got himself a ground ball to short. He made a great play, good footwork, fielding it through, but again, the challenge at this age, playing at 90-foot diamond, it's a little bit more difficult throw for these kids, but.
Well, see, right now there's actually 2 tournaments that are going on as we take another look.
Yeah, great footwork, fields it out front, comes up, makes a strong throw just offline. Doesn't give the chance for his first baseman to make a play and scoop it for him.
There's a 13-year-old tournament that's 54-80, and also this tournament played regulation at 60-90, and that's probably one of the trickier things. Is at 13 years old, you're really starting to just grow, get bigger, but you're probably kind of in between. That's why USSSA, you see them playing 2 classifications.
Yeah, it's absolutely that tweener age. It fits perfectly. A lot of these kids have to advance quickly from the 60-foot base path distance to 90, and that's a huge jump. So the fact that USSSA does offer those, inner steps there to get to 90 is good, especially at the age of 13.
Time called. Of course, get exclusive coach and player benefits by going to MLBdigitalacademy.com/USSSA. Bouncer and a second opportunity for the shortstop, Nico Boza, and this time it's online, and the side comes to its conclusion. It all started by a triple by Gonzalez. He comes in to score on a single by Arroyo. Sacrifice fly brings in 2 runs. And it's a 2-0 score at the end of 1. Got 3 here in the ballpark at Archbishop McCarthy, and for the first time today, let's head down to the field and check in with the third member of our team, Krista Bedard. KB.
Hey, Bernie. Guys, it is a beautiful day here at the ballpark, and both coaches have said baseball is one of those sports where anything can happen. For Team Panama, Tommy Guerra told his team not to get too confident in this one. Confidence and overconfidence is where they have errors. For the Miramar Canes, Vinny Rodriguez said they just want his team to play a fearless game and to have fun. He knows that they're an underdog in this one, being only a AAA rated USSSA team. But if they can come out, play their best game, they know that anything can happen.
Well, thank you, and that's what it's all about. You take a look at the season so far for the Canes. They played in a Thanksgiving shootout down here in Coral Springs, where they finished 5th overall. 5th in a wood bat tournament, and then 5th in the Weston Hawks warm-up. And you got to though, this is what it's all about sometimes. 13 years old, beginning of the season, a tournament that's covered on MLB.com. Why not play up? Why not play the best? Because that's the only way you can really test yourself, isn't it, Tyson?
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, or being early in the season, come out, see where you stand, get better throughout the year. That's what we're all about at the Digital Academy. Learn, get some experience against some good competition, and continue to get better.
And one of the big differences, Team Panama and Hugo Villalobos's team, this is a group that really ranges from the country of Panama to great players in South Florida, but the Miramar Canes, a team made up of 12 of the best 13-year-olds from Miramar. They've only been playing together for a year. Their home ballpark is Silver Lakes Park, just down the road from here. And, it's a team that's really continuing to grow, but this is the way to do it. Test the best of the best, because at the end of the day, it's all about trying to make it to the Elite World Series, Louisville Slugger Major Baseball Championship, and eventually the National Youth Championship. Yeah,
it just goes to show you the kind of talent here down in Florida, especially down here in South Florida with all these teams and clubs, and how even these town or select teams that range from a smaller area can still produce some really talented groups together.
It's going to be Michael Rodriguez, the designated hitter, leading things off here in the top of the 2nd inning. As we get set for action. It's a beautiful thing, though. The weather here is phenomenal. You can't ask for better weather than what you're seeing here. I know you spent a lot of time up at MLB Network and MLB.com headquarters up there in New York City, New Jersey, and I'd say probably a much different outlook weather-wise today down here in South Florida, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think I saw just before I left, it was the coldest day or coldest range of days here in 20 years up in New York City. So love seeing some green grass out here today.
Michael Rodriguez coming to the plate. One of the Canes' big bombers. Last year he hit 400, and he has that great opportunity to play for your dad, and you see that around, especially at this level. There's tons of people that get the opportunity to play for their dad, and obviously there's maybe some negatives sometimes, but the positive has got to be the amount of time you get to spend with your dad at practice on the weekend, and it's got to be phenomenal, the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the positives definitely outweigh the negatives and the challenges that will come with, coaching a son or having your dad be your coach. So again, this baseball at this level is all about the life experiences that these kids are having and life skills that they're developing, and what better place and way to do it than to be with family.
0-2 here as Hugo Villalobos has gotten off to a really great start.
Yeah, this is great coming out after their team puts up 2 in the bottom of the first, working ahead here 0-2. And best thing they could do is get back in and swing the sticks, get some more runs.
And his third strikeout early on as we take another look.
Great breaking ball to mix it up
right?
there. Yeah, wow. 0-2, great pitch off the plate.
He's thrown 31 pitches, and the majority have been right on the money in strikes. It's Conrad Emke now.
Yeah, the energy up a little bit right now for Team Panama after putting 2 up in the bottom of the first. So good start to the inning. Get the first guy and get his hitters back in.
You've got to be on your game too if you're the catcher here on Team Panama, because they certainly mix it around there behind home plate, and that can make it challenging. Got to snag a couple in the dirt now and again, and it always helps, especially for a pitcher, when he's got confidence that nothing's going to get by the catcher.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen some great fundamental work out here for these kids already. The catcher here is no exception. Working in, out, you can see him. Good catching stance right there. Again, this diamond, these pitchers and catchers are working at a different distance as well, and getting comfortable with 60 feet 6 inches is also a little bit different for a catcher.
Well, that's got to be probably one of the biggest challenges, is you see a base hit out here to right field. At least we thought for a moment, but that one comes in, and probably a throw that didn't need to be made there. And I'm surprised actually that Emke didn't take second. He'll hold it first. That's the first hit of the ball game for the Miramar Canes.
Yeah, you take it. Not something you usually typically see at the Major League level, but ground ball through the right side there. Right fielder tries to come up and throw him out at first.
You're going to bring on a courtesy runner. Is Carson McLeod is going to run. In USSSA baseball, you get a courtesy runner for both the pitcher and the catcher. That helps on a long weekend, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Keep the game speed up, the tempo and game times up, and then make sure that these catchers in a long weekend stay safe and healthy.
Jeff Vega, the left fielder, is the hitter. In his bio that they gave us, they call him a player coach. 13 years old, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
That's a great title to acquire at 13 years old. So, I was super impressed as he stands in the box. You can see really good athletic movement, really good and comfortable routine. So maybe he's providing some instruction to his teammates as well in that role.
So lead at first in the dirt, and again, nice little stop there, and time is called. Sometimes as a pitcher, it seems like everything is working until it's not.
Until you give up that first base hit, who knows? Get a guy on first, it changes. The performance behavior of a pitcher changes when there's a guy on first base and he's got to hold a runner on, and that may just give the offense here for the Canes what they need to get back and get on the board here.
The Canes looking for their first run of the contest. Pitch a little high, it's 3-0. Villalobos in a little bit of trouble. And a walk, and there's 2 on now.
A little hit by pitch takes it for his team, as I think it was probably a full take. You know, at this level, some of the kids like to fake square around and bunt, and happened to pull back, and looks like he took that right in the leg. So hopefully he jogs it off there at first base and is back and looking ready to go.
Well, the bottom of the lineup now coming up, and see what the options are here in Team Panama, because that's probably one of, you take a look at pitch count important, but obviously a difference, and you'll even see it at the college level. Early in the season, you don't typically see your starter really working deep into the game, just because you don't have the type of reps that you do have in the middle of the season.
Yeah, the physical conditioning probably isn't there yet. The arm strength, you want to make sure first, obviously, first time you take the mound and the first time you get out in the spring, that you work up. But yeah, working deep into the games isn't, really what happens at the youth game. So as you look here at 40 pitches, it looks like they're already sending somebody down in the bullpen, which is a good sign of keeping these kids' arms healthy early in the year.
Well, the Canes have the tying run aboard here, trying to answer back after Team Panama scored 2 in the bottom of the first. And it's Michael Miranda at the bottom of their lineup. Team's third baseman. So he's got a solid arm, a great presence. But he's quietly led with a big bat as well.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get a good base hit here to drive in their first run.
They say he went, and they throw it down to first. And just back in time is Jeff Vega, and you always got to be ready for a throw.
Great baseball play all the way around there. Both first basemen sneaking behind the lead runner there as he takes his secondary lead. You know, on a missed bunt like that, catches that first base runner off balance a little bit, and catcher quickly snapped a throw down there to try to get him.
0-2. Got him swinging. Strikeout number 4 of the ball game. And that's a big out, because now there's 2 away here in the second.
Yeah, we'll see if the pitcher now is stepping up to the plate, can help himself out, drive in a run, and 2 out hits.
The pitcher number 7, Eric Lewis.
2 out hits here are, especially when it involves an RBI, are pitcher's best friend, especially when you're in the box.
So here's Eric Lewis. No one gets away, and now the tying run's going to be in scoring position. A big mistake there on that pitch, because it really changes the complexion of what can happen here with the hit.
Yeah, absolutely here. Tying base hit. Let's see this secondary lead. Make sure this guy from second base puts himself in a good position to score on a hit.
It's down and away 2-0. Chain in danger of loading the bases. They say Lewis has grown into the ace. There's a fastball changeup and a cutter. And he's the captain of the team in a big spot here. But this time he's going to hit it back to the pitcher. And Villalobos over to first to end the inning. So the Miramar Canes, they strand the maximum at the bottom of the second. The defending national champion Team Panama leading 2-0. '15 USSSA Summer Championship Series powered by MLB.com. Tyson Hanisch joining me on our broadcast President's Day Super NIT. Bottom of the second inning. And Eric Lewis had a big opportunity with the bases loaded to drive in at least a run. But grounded back to the pitcher. Now he'll go back to work, and maybe always easier that second inning against the nation's #1 team, I would assume. Or does it ever get easier?
I don't know. See how Team Panama adjusts and sees, as Lewis gets deeper into the game here, if they can attack early pitches down the middle of the zone and drive some doubles and drive some balls into the gap. It's always great to see these kids hustle in and off the field in between innings. Great tempo out here. Guys throwing the ball around with some pace. Always like to see that.
The designated hitter number 13, Luis Rodriguez.
Luis Rodriguez, third baseman for Team Panama, at the plate.
Get another example of a kid finding his preference in the batter's box, a little bit further in the batter's box than we typically saw the last guys.
Is there an advantage or disadvantage of where you line up, or is it ultimately the most important thing where you're most comfortable?
Yeah, ultimately it's up to the hitter as where he feels comfortable, where his routine is. At different levels, there'll be, and different pitchers and different game plans, there'll be advantages of being in the back of the box at the big league level. But, here adjusting to this new diamond, feeling out how the velocity is coming at 13 years old from 60 feet 6 inches is different and changes. These kids are now trying to find their own personal routine and where they're personally comfortable as they advance into the high school level.
2-0. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Team Panama here in the bottom of the second. They already lead it 2-0. Triple earlier for Gonzalez. Helped lead to the game's first run.
We'll see here too as the Canes have somebody up in their bullpen. We've kept an eye and monitored these pitch counts as we go, but see if he can come back and work back from 3-0 here on this leadoff hitter.
2-1. Bring him back to the box.
Looked like a pretty good pitch from here to get his best swing off of. Ahead in the count, looking for a good fastball. Now we got a full count, worked his way back.
Payoff pitch. This one is driven well. But the ballpark will hold it. That's one of the harder things. Is probably not going to see a lot of home runs here for the 13-year-olds playing on a high school field where it's 285 down the right field line, 305 down the left field line, I'd assume.
Yeah, absolutely. Big park for these kids, and that extends to the outfield fence as well. As they've grown up and played on 220-foot fences to 260, all of a sudden now it takes a good shot there to right center, 355, 385 to get it out of here.
I want to go with the easy play in center field. Now this is Abner Benitez, the first baseman.
Lewis doing a great job to come back there and not give up a leadoff walk.
Benitez, 13 years old, 5'7", 150 pounds, and he, like many in our country, a Yankee fan. Will this be their year where they kind of turn things around?
Yeah, we'll see. The AL East has had some turnover, some big changes, and the start of the new season comes new excitement for each club in the AL East. So we'll see if the Yankees have what it takes to get back and make a run at things.
2 balls and a strike. Eric Lewis watches this one ripped out to left field. The third hit of the ball game for Team Panama. In back-to-back innings, they have a runner aboard. Looked like an easy swing there, didn't it?
Yeah, great swing. Great swing, other way. Nice line drive. Stayed inside the baseball, drove it to left field for a base hit.
Number 5, Carlos Castillo.
Here's another look.
We see the replay.
Hey, ya que la bola llegue a ti. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Deep out here.
Luis Espinal now. Second baseman out of Miami, Florida.
Hey, make sure the first one.
He's got his foot on the chalk right at the back of the box. Showing bunt, pulls it back. As the third baseman, Michael Miranda, was charging.
Don't like to see the full kid square there and open up his chest and face there on the fake bunt, or if he was going to attempt to bunt. Want to make sure he keeps that front shoulder closed, but I'm assuming it was intent to take a pitch and turn the lineup back over to the top of the lineup here with a guy on first.
But still, that's one of the things that even at 13 years old, I would assume if you're a big power hitter, you're not asked to bunt often in your career, but it's one of those things that you never know as you grow older when you're going to find yourself in a situation where it's one of the things that the colleges and the next level looking for, that obviously you can drive the ball, but you can also do the little things that the team needs to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good offensive strategy is going to include, driving the ball, moving runners over, scoring them with third with less than 2 outs, and laying down a bunt if your team needs to, because a lot of these kids may be hitting third or fourth in the lineup now, but if they get called up to their high school team or whatever as freshmen, they may be in a different role in the lineup.
Carlos Castillo grounds it to third, and nice job for Michael Miranda being aware. He thought about going to second. There was no play, and quickly he made up his mind and went to first and got the second out.
Yeah, absolutely. A little slow hopper there, good chopper, gives the guy enough time to get down to second without a play, so makes a strong throw to first base. Now, gets 2 outs, and see if we can't get a ground ball or an easy out here to end the inning.
Luis Espinal. At the plate now. An opportunity for Team Panama to drive in their third run. This should retire the side, and it does. A bullet of a throw for Nico Boza over to first. And that will end the second. Canes still chasing a run as we head to the third. They're down 2-0. 2-0 score here in the third inning. Team Panama going back to work. And it has been quite a day for Team Panama's starter. 4 strikeouts so far, and he's allowed just 1 hit.
Leading off the top half of the third for Miramar, top of the lineup, the center fielder number 2, Michael Aguayo.
Michael Aguayo in the top spot will start off here in the third.
Missed outside here. Kane's always good to start out. Get on base. Objective here, get on first base. Any way you can get there. Leadoff walk, base hit, get this inning started. Try to put 2 on the board here.
Now, Aguayo struck out in his first plate appearance. Is there anything different that you do after strike out the first time, maybe in your approach?
Yeah, you obviously learn how the pitcher is. You get him timed up, so your second at bat, you got a little bit of an advantage of seeing him, seeing his release point. His tempo, his timing with his delivery. So great swing right there. It was right on it, felt it straight back. So as you get back in the box for your second at bat, you got a little bit more confidence.
50 pitches thrown now. Pitch number 51 upcoming. And he kind of stepped over to hit that one. I'm not sure that that's the type of approach you want there. He's really jammed. Not a whole lot he could do.
Yeah, it's tough with 2 strikes there. Obviously, looked like it was a little up and in, but you never want to make that decision up, leave that decision up to the umpire. So try to put something in play, make it difficult on the defense to get him out. Unfortunately, it didn't work that time.
Banks coming to the plate. He walked in his first plate appearance. Swings through the first pitch. It's 0-1. Banks, a 7th grader, also a team captain. Say he's the heart and soul of this team. I know one of the big things that MLB Digital Academy is doing this year with USSSA is really coaching up the coaches, if you will, about the arm health. And that's one of the big programs here, the certification, that's going to be a real big part of USSSA baseball as well.
Yeah, we're going to team up here and try to address some of the challenges that we face in youth baseball. Obviously, arm injuries is a key factor right now at the youth level. But yeah, with this coaches certification that's coming this spring, we're going to help provide instruction and quality lessons to coaches on not only the skills of the game of hitting, pitching, defense, base running, but also some health and safety concerns that together MLB Digital Academy and USSSA can work on together.
Well, that's one of the best things here is you see the 5th strikeout of the ball game is Major League Baseball this year really doing a big push into youth baseball as we take another look at the strikeout.
Yeah, it's great. This is a good starting point for USSSA and MLB.com and a collection of events throughout the year, but not only with the new commissioner's efforts as well. I know he's made a point to reach out and open up the community to find ways.
What a catch out in center field. Enrique Bradfield lays out. It's February, and we're already seeing a few web gems here in South Florida. It's a beautiful defense. 2-0 score after this beautiful diving catch. Team Panama up to the plate when we come back to Miami. It's the 2015 USSSA Summer Championship Series presented by MLB.com. Already got there Tyson Hanisch. Jim Duquette just getting off his radio show. He'll be here shortly. And a little more about the coaches certification program. What is it that you need to do to get involved and get that teaching, if you will?
Yeah, as a partner and obviously USSSA, we're working on it together. You know, it's coming this spring. The best thing a coach could do right now is go join the academy at MLBdigitalacademy.com/USSSA. Not only will you get the USSSA member benefits, but you'll be notified and be one of the first groups of coaches that gets informed of its release. You know, we're looking to get this published here mid-March, by end of March, so that the coaches can be prepared to coach their kids and players throughout the season this year with the quality instruction, quality education, and that's the first step that we need to take, is to try to educate these coaches on the, you know, not only the challenges and risks of keeping kids' arms healthy, but you know, how to teach the proper pitching delivery. You know, our expert in the course is Rick Peterson. Speak very highly of him, obviously, with his experience in Major League Baseball as a pitching coach and now pitching coordinator and development for the Baltimore Orioles. But you know, along with education comes teaching the proper fundamentals, and we look forward to launching this course and providing all that important information to the coaches.
So we'll get a little more on it. It's getting cranked up to be opened up in spring, is when it'll be fully launched, and I'm sure there's just going to be a plethora of information out there for everyone to find out about.
Yeah, absolutely. So our, you know, the course is broken up into different chapters and units of skills and health and safety, and you know, most importantly, how to be a coach, how to communicate effectively with kids, and you know, our ultimate goal is to provide the coaches the resources that they need to help make the game better on the field for the kids, increase participation, and have kids all enjoy this game that we love being out here in the middle of February watching.
Well, that's probably one of the biggest things about the new commissioner's initiative is he really wants to go and reach the players that are going to be the future MLB stars and invest in them as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of efforts right now happening. He's obviously new to the office, but a lot of energy, a lot of momentum in this space, and we look forward to playing a role and being, you know, one piece of a big picture that I know he has and is excited about to communicate and connect with the youth baseball and increase participation in this great game.
Tommy Guerra is the hitter, the right fielder for Team Panama. Also gets an opportunity to play for his dad. Two balls, two strikes. It's kind of been a little bit of a pitcher's duel so far with only 4 hits combined. That was a slow roller and deep in the hole. The play made by Ray Banks. And again with a bigger field, a longer distance to run, and it seemed like it took forever for that ball to reach Banks, but he was still able to make the play.
Yeah, good play all the way around. Good read by the first baseman. It was a in-between ball that he could have maybe backhanded, but left it for the second baseman to get over there, field his position, and looked like it was a little bit further outside of the range of the first baseman, but good defensive play.
So 1 away, and this is Jonathan Calavero out of Chiriqui, Panama. 5'7", 125 pounds. He's tall but lean. Looks like you could already think that with his size there that he may be early high school star, if you will, just the way that he looks when he comes to the plate.
Yeah, I'm impressed by a lot of these athletes out here. Very athletic movements, very, you know, not baseball specific movements. But as he gets in the box here, tall, lean, athletic frame, these kids have a lot of potential.
He's able to pitch a complete game, taking his team to the finals in Memphis, Tennessee at the USSSA National Youth Championships. His favorite player, Robinson Cano. Lewis is behind 2-1. Pitch just off the outside corner of the plate. 3 balls and a strike.
We'll take a look and see if any of his mannerisms or characteristics as he get in the box emulates Robinson Cano. I know a lot of these kids grow up watching and emulating some of those big league players.
This one driven to center field, but right on the line at the center fielder, and an easy play made by Agualo for out number 2. Pretty good contact there, though.
Yeah, Lewis is doing a good job now. He looks like he's settling in a little bit, and if he keeps his Canes here at a 2-0 score, he gives his offense a chance to come back in and get some runs and make this a competitive game, as it is.
So 2 away. And Jonathan Vivas at the plate, and that's one of the things for Team Panama. We see them, and USSSA had the opportunity to bat 9, 10, or your entire roster, and Team Panama electing today to showcase their entire team for MLB.com.
Yeah, it gives obviously everybody a chance to get in the batter's box in here and play, which is what we like to see at this level. Get all the kids participating and playing in the game and let them have a shot in the batter's box to make an impact for their team.
And it's a great opportunity, obviously, even if you don't get in the field early in the game, probably keeps your mind in the mix knowing that you're going to get a chance, hopefully, early on in the first 3-4 innings or so to come to the plate. 1-1 upstairs. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, it's always impressive to see kids and their energy throughout the game and upbeat, working together as a team. But when you, have a chance to hit and stay in the game mentally, it definitely helps.
2-1. It's probably protecting the zone there. Almost an excuse-me swing. And now Eric Lewis is a pitch away from getting out of the third.
This could give the Canes some momentum going into the offensive dugout here if he can put something here. Strike out, ground out. As he steps off the rubber here to get settled for this pitch.
Two and two. Down and outside, it's full. Vivas out of Weston, Florida. How about that fight? From behind, draws the walk. Yeah, that's what you definitely like to avoid if you're Eric Lewis. You were a pitch away from getting out of the inning, and now a 2-out walk issued. And 2-out walks often come back to bite you, especially when you see a player like Enrique Bradfield come back, and it'll be Team Panama back at the top of their lineup, and the big bat's getting another crack at it now here in the third.
Yeah, absolutely. 2-out walks. At this level, if he steals a base here, puts them in a position to pick up a run.
Come get it.
2 outs, 1 on. And here's Bradfield, grounded out in his first plate appearance. Just trying to carry on the third inning here in the semifinal. Miramar Canes 6-7 here on the new season. And they've caught Vivas in a rundown. It's making them work. And it pays off. A missed opportunity there.
Yeah, a couple too many throws. Once you extend past probably that second throw, gives the runner a definite opportunity to increase his chances to get out of the rundown. I like to see these guys run full speed right here and put a tag on him. I think he had the chance to do that right there. And after that third throw, things can get a little bit more interesting.
Well, they'll have some film to watch.
Yes, absolutely. Like to see in that rundown situation the defense put the ball up in his hand, run full speed, make that runner commit, get rid of the ball, get it in front of him, and then be able to make a tag.
Foul back. Bradfield at the plate. Leadoff hitter for Team Panama. He's got a big bat and tremendous speed for this team that's the defending USSSA national champions. It's from Pembroke Pines, just a couple miles away. Actually, if I looked at the map right, I think Pembroke Pines might be the other side of the road. If you go to the grocery store right across the street, that's all you got to do to go to Pembroke Pines. So pretty nice when you get to wake up in the morning and just drive a couple miles down the street and play baseball, isn't it?
Yeah, especially wake up in the morning and know that you're going to be on MLB.com. Gets you a little bit more excited to get out of bed, get things rolling, and show up to the ball field.
Let's see if you get one of those signature hits. Throw down to second. Not in time. This is stolen base. He's got a chance to knock in a run here and extend Team Panama's lead.
Yeah, so here we go, a 2-out walk leading to an opportunity for Team Panama to get a run here with a base hit.
Again, with the bigger base pass, it's an even longer throw for the catcher. One. Almost an excuse me throw there.
Yeah, they said some form of pickoff play there. Reed, I don't know exactly what they're trying to accomplish with 2 outs, but looked to throw to second, and there wasn't anybody there to receive a throw. So tried to hold on to it, looks, and just kind of slipped out of his hand.
Well, luckily for Eric Lewis, it didn't leave the infield.
And hopefully with 2 outs, he can turn his attention here to the hitter. End the inning.
1-1. A little low. It's 2-1.
You know, it's always great to see 13-year-olds. This is part of the game, part of learning how to hold runners on. Different situations and scenarios here with 2 outs. You definitely want to make sure we try to get the hitter work down in the zone and not lose focus of making a quality pitch.
In the dirt, 3 balls and a strike. And that's one of the things that separates USSSA baseball from some of the other organizations is even at 10 years old, they're able to lead off, work on their moves, and it's a completely different baseball game than it is obviously when you can't throw until obviously the ball gets to the catcher, if you will. Popped up into left field and trying to make a diving grab, but well short is the left fielder, Jeff Vega.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The gameplay at USSSA at 10 years old, get these kids leading, stealing, getting comfortable with the timing of the game, all important instructional qualities and lessons that will keep these kids moving forward as they get older. So now at 13 on the 90-foot diamond, kind of keeping this runner close at second. What range do I have to field a ground ball and still be in position to do that? But obviously for these pitchers to make quality pitches.
3-2. There's a walk. Second 2-out walk here in the bottom of the third. And they're going to have to bring up now Gonzalez, who scored the game's first run as he tripled back in the first inning. And it appears the day is done for Eric Lewis. 66 pitches on the day. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back to Miami. Team Panama leading 2-0 here in the 2015 USSSA Summer Championship Series, powered by MLB.com. Chris Moreno coming into pitch here in the bottom of the third inning, and it's always tricky when you come in as a new pitcher, Tyson, and work against the defending national champions, and you got to do so with 2 on.
Yeah, good thing he comes in here, gets some warm-up pitches with 2 outs. Hopefully he can get himself a ground ball. Infield can make a play right here at third base, second base, or first base to get this 3rd out. But yeah, you never want to come in a scenario where you got to face Team Panama with runners on the bases.
Chris Moreno, new to the team. They say that one of the highlights is his fastball, and obviously that's something you love to have, especially when you got runners on base. It's a good fastball.
Here we go, Conrad.
Yeah, we'll see. We're getting to the middle of Team Panama's order right now, and from what I've seen throughout the day is they're not afraid to swing and jump on an early fastball. So we'll see how this plays out over the next at-bat.
They'll do up the big bat, number 99. And Fernando Gonzalez tripled and scored the first run of the game for Team Panama. They look to add to this 2-0 advantage.
You got to commend Lewis's effort. I don't know if he had his best stuff, but has kept the Canes in within striking distance here of Team Panama, still with only a 2-0 score. So we'll see if the Canes can get out of this inning and keep it at 2-0.
Hey, 2 outs, 2 outs.
Only 4 hits so far in the ball game.
99, Fernando Gonzalez.
Here's Fernando Gonzalez.
2 outs, easiest play here, guys.
Looking for his second big hit of this ball game. Right now, he scored the decisive run. The Miramar Canes have had an opportunity. They had the bases loaded back in the first inning. And they would love to keep it just a 2-run deficit.
Yeah, this is a big turning point in the game here with 2 outs. Can seek out now his favorite pitch in his favorite spot and try to put his best swing on it.
Is it a situation you want to think about the runners? You just really need to focus in on dealing with the batter at this point.
Well, you know, I don't know what they saw at second, but maybe a shot to pick off an out here as you know, he's trying to get settled coming in out of the bullpen and throwing 2 balls. You want to make sure you do your best to try to get this next out. So comes back there with a good strike. So we'll see if that was kind of a important little tip here that got him back into the zone and can get this 3rd out.
Yeah, an important pitch makes it 2-1. Bouncing ball, sneaks through, base hit. And they're going to hold with the bases loaded, but Gonzalez is on for the second time in the ball game.
Chris, that's all you can do, get ground ball.
2 things out there if there are any other youth watching this game is this ground ball here as it's sneaking through. Shortstop's going to do everything he can to try to keep that ball in the infield. You know, most times if that ball squeezes through to the outfield, that runner has a chance to score from second. And then second, left fielder hesitated a little bit getting that ball back into the cutoff man, you know, which would have been the 3rd baseman. So get that ball back into the infield as quick as possible. Try to keep it in the infield. Luckily for the Canes, that runner wasn't able to advance from 3rd and score a run there.
It's just the 4th hit of this ball game for Team Panama and the 5th hit overall. I guess that's what you expect sometimes. The pitcher's controlling the game early in the season.
Yeah, again, it goes down to timing, getting comfortable in the box. You know, most of these hitters probably have been working indoors a little bit, off of the tee, at a batting cage. So just being back outside and facing some pitchers in a live environment, it's going to take some time to get comfortable, get these bats going early in the spring.
How many great hitters have you seen during the course of their career? Just take some time. You know, you got career 300-plus hitters that are still hitting the low 200s that first month of the baseball season just because they're trying to get in the groove.
Yeah, it's about the groove, seeing, tracking pitches, and getting your timing set, but then also settling into a long season at the major league level, which is challenging enough to stay on top of your game and mentally as a hitter stay locked in and get your timing early in the season.
Derek Arroyo 1 for 1 with an RBI. Bases loaded here. Chris Moreno, welcome to the Miramar Canes, taking on the #1 team a year ago in USSSA. They won both the Elite World Series and the National Youth Championships. Back at it again. Hit by pitch there. And Team Panama will have their 3rd run the hard way.
Like to see him hustle down to first base there, knowing that that ball hit his helmet. Didn't look like it caught him in the face at all. But you never like to see a pitch hit the helmet. Make sure he's okay down there. And
looks like they're going to bring in a pinch runner for him. Attention, no. Looks like they're just going over to check him out. He turned and had all the padding, it appeared, from this perspective in the right spot, Tyson.
Yeah, absolutely, but you never like to see something up above the shoulders for sure. Hopefully they take the appropriate safety precautions, make sure he's okay.
Checking out how many fingers he's showing. I'll tell you, on my point of view, went through his fingers so quick, I don't think I could have done 3, 2, 1, 4.
Pick up the second sign, maybe.
It does produce the third run of the ball game for Team Panama. Here's Nick Veras now. Driven back deep, and that one would have been gone in many ballparks. Instead, it's going to produce 3 RBIs. Nick Veras clears them all.
But I'm sure these kids used to that ball being out of every park that they've previously played on. Driven deep to left field, clears the bases for a double. And again, you know, we spoke nobody on, 2 outs, and this rally of 3 runs all started with the 2-out walk.
And that was a sweet swing there, wasn't it? A future star, 5'8", 178 pounds, and just 13 years old.
Put a great swing on that, put a charge into it. And I'm sure he'll is not too far away from hitting it out of this ballpark over the next year or 2.
1-0. Tipped.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 15, Robert Moya.
Robert Moya at the plate, reached on an error in his first plate appearance. 6 runs on 5 hits for Team Panama. And a little disconnect again there as this throw goes into center field, and Team Panama has a runner at third now.
You know, we discussed here trying to sneak an out here on the base pass of some pickoffs here at first and at second, but you know, I would love to see him settle in here, make a good pitch, get this third out, and get his team in to hit. Communication again with the new pitcher being on a new ball club. Critical when trying to pull off those plays.
Well, one of those things, you come in, I'm sure he wanted to impress his new teammates and he just wanted to make a play. They're really reeling trying to get this final out. And it started with back-to-back outs, a ground out and a fly out, but after that, back-to-back walks and some issues.
Yeah, we'll see here now, 3-1. Hitters probably really comfortable, relaxed after Team Panama's put up some runs on the board. See if he can get a good swing off here on a pitch.
Up top, and he draws a walk.
Another good situation here, scenario of growth and development and instruction for kids here, first and third. A lot of youth plays with various stealing, delayed stealed scenarios and circumstances that Team Panama could try to put some pressure defensively on the Canes. So we'll see how they try to address a first and third scenario here as the catcher comes out to communicate their defensive plan.
Walks have been a big issue. Moyan first. Hugo Villalobos, the pitcher, grounded out his first plate appearance. Gotta love this one here, pitcher. Gonna go back to the mound, potentially up 6 runs now.
Yeah, he had settled in nicely over the last inning and a half. Really fluid delivery, but going back onto the mound now with at least a 6-0 lead has got to make him feel pretty confident and comfortable. Mistakes here in the third. And the 5th run of the inning is produced, and now it's 7-0.
Yeah,
again, a rundown scenario for the Canes. Right? I don't know if the third base runner read the ball or lost that the catcher actually made a good stop and blocked the ball at the plate, but after that, the Canes just couldn't execute the rundown.
There's another look.
Yeah, run full speed, make a good throw. Get it to that third baseman. All part of learning the game of baseball.
And how big of a difference do you think it makes for these players? Many were 12 years old and they're playing on a much smaller diamond, now having to play the same distance essentially that they do at Major League Baseball. The field dimension's not quite as big, but obviously the throws are as long.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we talk about the scenarios of routine ground balls to shortstop or leading and stealing and throwing runners out from the catcher's position, but you know, basic rundowns, basic relays, where to be on the field, all changes when the dynamic and the base paths extend to 90 feet. And they definitely get highlighted, you know, defensively in plays like what we just saw with that rundown between third and home.
Miramar Canes had thought for a moment that they had a chance, but just starting to drift away the opportunities. Now in the 7-0 ball game, runners at first and second.
Yeah, this is when somebody from the Canes needs to step up and make a good defensive play, get him out of the inning. Well, unfortunately, all 5 of these runs came with you know, nobody on and 2 outs.
And that brings up Luis Rodriguez, center fielder. Made a brilliant catch earlier. Probably our defensive web gem of the game so far, as he laid out. Popped up. Nearly caught in the dugout, and that's one of those plays I'm not sure that even the opposition should be trying to make the play in the dugout.
Yeah, again, giving the defensive guy a chance to make that play. He was a little late getting over there, so didn't influence the play, but yeah, as the guys in the dugout need to stay back, make sure this guy has a chance to make that play.
Jim Duquette standing by. He'll join us in the 4th. Had a busy morning radio show. Now going to get an opportunity to call a couple of great youth baseball games, and MVP Banditos coming up. This is a team that might be able to go toe-to-toe with this Team Panama squad. They're filled with a number of great stars, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. You hear a lot about the Banditos team and club, and excited to see them play this afternoon out here.
Be the second game of our doubleheader. The winner of these two games will play tomorrow. To center and caught. But the two walks really come back to bite the Miramar Canes. Two-out walks helps Team Panama produce 5 runs. And it's 7-0 our score as we head to the 4th inning. Let's check in down now with the third member of our team, Krista Bedard, who's standing by with the head coach of the Canes.
Hey guys, I'm here with the Miramar Canes head coach, Vinny Rodriguez. Now the floodgates open in the bottom of the 3rd. What do you need to tell your team to kind of get them refocused and back in this game?
I just want to tell them to play baseball and to play with heart and to know and to just execute the basics. They just need to, we got to go ahead and try to play some small ball and just execute. And then hopefully if we come up on defense again, make the plays that we need to make. Pretty simple.
Well, before this game, you told me that your team is used to playing on the 5480 dimensions. How would you assess their adjustments to this bigger field?
Well, because of the field, it's a little bit longer, so they still need to adjust a little bit better. So, again, it comes down to execution, executing on the basics, and that's pretty much it. So our pitching is the one that's suffering the most right now at that longer distance. But aside from that, you know, I'm proud of the kids. They're playing with heart, and that's all that I care about, that they go ahead and play and they give it their all.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Well, thank you, KB. 4th inning, 7-0, Team Panama, the defending USSSA National Youth Champions. And joining me now, Jim Duquette, coming off a busy morning.
Yeah, a little
on the
bit.
Radio show.
It's all good.
Got an opportunity to talk to the commissioner, and I know that this is one of the big things that he's enthusiastic about is how much Major League Baseball is putting behind the youth baseball game as well now.
Yeah, you know what? There was no accident at his first official role when he took over. He went up to Little League, up to Williamsport, and that was more of a statement than a support of any youth group. It was, hey, listen, I'm going to be the commissioner that tries to advocate youth and youth baseball and advances at the youth level. And he has been a man of his word so far. He's gotten involved, obviously, in a number of different initiatives. And obviously, when you start to look at that, you know, I think from Major League Baseball standpoint, they need to be more involved, and I think you're going to see that here moving forward.
Mo, we get an opportunity today to see Team Panama, that are defending National Youth Champions for USSSA, and you take a look at this team, and this is one of the great things about baseball is this is a group of players that's from South Florida, from Panama, and that area of the world has really produced a lot of great stars the last couple of years.
It's grown a lot, you know, and I know from a scouting standpoint, my days in the front office, that was an area that you really targeted. The whole state of Florida used to have it split up into 2. Now you really have to split it up into 3s and take the Panama and kind of go west. That whole area is really a baseball-rich environment now.
Well, Luis Rodriguez is the new pitcher for Team Panama. What impresses you so much? Because, you know, you take a look at these players, and it's one of the things that Tyson and I had an opportunity to talk about a moment ago. But the challenge for these players is they were playing in completely different dimensions just a year ago. This is the biggest leap for these athletes. 12 years old, much smaller diamond, 13 years old, playing regulation here.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to kind of get used to the timing mechanisms. You watch how they kind of feel the ground ball, and you see maybe a double clutch trying to get a little extra emphasis on the throw across the diamond from short to third. It's not that easy of a throw anyway, and now when you're not used to that, you know, you let it fly from over there, and sometimes the ball's going to be an errant throw to first base or you know, whatever it might be from third base, and that's, I think, one of the bigger things from a fielding standpoint anyway. You see the same kind of mechanics apply, right? But, you know, certainly the extra throw maybe causes you to do some things, maybe take a couple extra crow hops that you don't usually make.
Rodriguez is 3-1, is driven foul, and in some ways, this President's Day Super NIT, there's still 2 bids on the line. in this tournament, but it's very much like spring training that's going to be going on all across the Sunshine State in just a couple of days. It's all about getting the cobwebs out, and it's so great to have baseball being played finally. Probably hard to imagine as we see another brilliant grab out in center field. Bradfield with his second diving grab. He hasn't had to wait to get the cobwebs out, that's for sure.
I'll tell you, he's looked like it's mid-season form. Now, his first diving catch was to his right, to his glove side. This one even more difficult to his backhand because of him being left-handed. And what stands out for me is not only is his ability to be able to dive or slide while he's catching, but he gets a great jump. Really terrific jump. That's the best way to make that kind of catch.
So a brilliant diving catch for out number one. And Jake Rivero is retired. That'll bring Shane Pearson to the plate. He struck out in his first plate appearance. And some of that first step, it's innate. It's really hard to even teach an athlete that.
It really is. That's the thing. He stands out as a terrific athlete. But, in center field up the middle, you have a good idea of where the ball's coming off of the bat because you see it right in front of you. You still have to make the play. It's a difficult play, and that was what was so impressive to his backhand.
2-0 missed outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Pearson.
This Panama City team is really a club that stands out. You look at the size of these kids. I mean, for 13 years old, it really does stand out to you. They swung the bats really well, and not a surprise that they're winning 7-0.
Well, I'll tell you, we're at the home of 4 in a row state champion Mavericks, and if this group walked in the clubhouse and they walked out with the Archbishop McCarthy jerseys on, I'm not sure that anybody would think anything different. They definitely could play the part.
No, I agree. It's a pretty well advanced team. You look at them physically, the way they swing the bat. They certainly don't seem to be intimidated by the size of the field either, and that's what again stands out. When you look at this type of diamond, and playing at this level of competition, clearly they're one of the elite teams.
Michael Rodriguez struck out at his first plate appearance, grounds it here, just past the third baseman for the second hit of the ball game for the Miramar Canes. So there's 2 aboard, and that's where you keep going back to the 2-out walks in the bottom of the third, but that's such a drastic game-changing point because they were 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. You have 2 aboard here, and you'd be right in the ball game.
Yeah, and last inning, obviously the botched rundown is what stands out because 2 outs he hasn't picked off, and if they make that play instead of having 4 throws and they end up getting the runner back to first base, if they instead make the play, they're out of the inning, and now who knows? It's a 2-0 ball game. Instead, they're having to play from 7 down.
Not to talk to Luis Rodriguez pitching for the first time in this contest.
Villalobos had done a nice job
he
for
did
3.
A brilliant job, yeah.
Terrific job. He struck out 5 guys, and really, after that, I think it was the second batter of the game that he walked. But after that, he settled down, was throwing strikes, did a nice job of changing speeds and getting the hitters out in front.
What's probably the biggest thing you'd recommend for athletes at this age that are making that jump from 12 years old to 13 years old? Because probably more than any position, obviously pitching is the biggest impact, just in how much further you have to throw the ball. If you're throwing some good pace earlier, it's a lot harder to have that same velocity when you back up.
It is, and that's a difficult thing because the fear is that you do too much for a pitcher, trying to overthrow. And I think that both of the pitchers that we've seen, actually all 3 of the pitchers, the main pitchers today, have had good pitching mechanics. That to me is the most important thing when you're pitching at any level, is to have good pitching mechanics so you don't hurt yourself when you're throwing.
Carson McLeod at the plate now. An opportunity to knock in 2. It would be great to see the Canes, from their perspective, push across their first run of this ball game, especially against a team like Team Panama. Ball and a strike. McLeod, a versatile player. Definitely has some great speed, but in this particular point, he's going to ground out to third. and that will retire the side. The bases loaded back in the first. They leave 2 stranded here. We move on to the bottom of the fourth. 7-0 is the lead early on for Team Panama in the 2015 USSSA Summer Championship Series, powered by MLB.com. 7-0 score here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Jim Duquette, Bernie Gunther. Mason Hanisch was here earlier with us. 7 runs on 5 hits for Team Panama. They scored 2 in the first and 5 with 2 outs.
Like, put it this way, it's a kid that when in any fly balls on the center field, we can turn around, go by, we could win all this and out. That kid has a lot of potential. He covered a lot of field. Plus, he got the speed as in the first batter. One of the best players that we got in the team. Panamanian, by the way, it's Panamanian. So, it's good. It's good.
Well, your entire team is pretty solid all around. If you had anything you wanted to see this team still improve on, since this is still just an early part of the tournament, what would that improvement be?
Just try to keep them the discipline, the ABC of baseball, to make sure that 1 out at a time. Keep the discipline on the field, out of the field, and something that we have to improve all year round with them. They're kids, they're 13 to 14. They start to be a teenager, so it's kind of hard. But that's probably the only concern that we have on the team right now, as ball players, and keeping that discipline inside and outside the field, and that will have the results. Baseball is all about discipline, so it's kind of hard, to keep track on them. But we're there.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Well, thank you, KB. I know one of the big stories that I remember last year from the National Youth Championships in Memphis is when Team Panama talked about the road that the parents in Panama had to do just to watch their kids play, that they would essentially go miles and miles on foot just to basically get to that internet cafe just so they had the opportunity to watch.
Big parents, big part of this, and there's no question about it. You can't get to the games unless your parents are taking you, that's for sure.
And how special is it for these great players from Panama to now come up to the United States and get an opportunity to play? Because completely different field conditions here at this level than they were back in Panama playing.
Sure. You think of Mariano Rivera and what he had to go through when he was growing up there. Panama, the most famous Panamanian, of course, in Major League Baseball. And, he came a long way from it was a cardboard glove. That was his first glove that he would play catch. And now, because of his influence, you've really seen the baseball in that country grow.
Abner Benitez singled his first time up. The one thing I really like, though, is you take a look at these teams, is the quality of the coaching, and that's really what it's all about. You get those basic fundamentals, and you see it even at 9, 10, 11 years old in the games, and man, does it pay dividends when they move on to the next level.
Well, it does, and Panama City Team Panama coach talked about that, keeping the discipline, one focus, one pitch at a time, one out at a time.
Here it will go as a base hit. Almost a perfectly placed ball there for Abner Benitez. And they'll say it went off his knee, so it'll go as a foul ball.
A little foul ball there, but getting back to what you were saying, Bernie, you think from that perspective, anytime you're going to play at an elite level, you have to have the fundamentals. And one of the things that you hear, the complaints you hear sometimes with minor league and major league organizations, it's kids that they're getting now aren't fundamentally sound. Well, you have to be at this level at age 12, age 13, and that's where the good coaching comes in.
So where would you say the next step? Is it just to continue as you get better and you're more dominant to keep refining the skills then?
It's really what it is refining. Listen, we saw a couple of mistakes when it came to rundowns here in the a couple of innings ago. And you got to go and work on that. It's something that you continually hone and shoot. You see those type of issues and problems at the major league level sometimes.
Base hit out to right field. He does get aboard at the end of the day with a sweet swing there. Hit number 6 of the ball game.
How about Benitez today? He's had 2 really good at-bats. His first at-bat, they tried pitching down and in, and he ends up taking it the other way for a base hit to left field, and then he drilled this ball down the right field, using the whole field today.
Well, that's one of the things I would assume for you as a former general manager. You're really looking for a player that's a complete player, aren't you?
You are, and it's rare to see hitters. A lot of times you see hitters that are pull hitters, right? Especially on the right side. Generally, 74% of the time, even at the major league level, you see guys pulling to the pull side, so righties and lefties, and that's why you see so many shifts now. It's rare that you see even a young hitter at age 13 hit the ball the other way when it's pitched out there, and then, of course, pulling it to the other side. It's a difficult thing. It's something that takes a lot of practice.
What's the biggest key fundamentally to pulling it off, would you say?
To pulling off hitting.
Yeah, both sides, yeah.
Well, it's funny because when you go into a cage and you're working on your hitting, you go in there with a plan. It's not just up there swinging away or hacking away, right? You're in there. Okay, the first round, second round, third round kind of goes to the coaching and some of your own hitting coaches. Pitch away. All right, I'm going to take the ball and hit it the other way. And not everybody's able to do that, and I think that takes a lot of work. And sometimes you start with the tee and set it up away and try to hit the ball and get that bat path hitting the ball the other way. And then when you figure that out, I've always felt like the easier one was to pull the ball or hit the ball up the middle. And so if you're able to use that whole field, both left center and right center, that to me is a more fundamental swing and helps you.
Castillo hits it to right field. And that's probably one of the most challenging things about this age group at 13U is the puberty fact. Here, you got a guy that's 4'11" playing on the same group that has 5'7" players.
And it takes strength, as an example, to hit the ball the other way. And when you're 5 feet tall or 4'11" and trying to hit the ball, you're just trying to survive, never mind being able to hit the ball the other way.
Well, it's going to be Team Panama moving on because of time. This game's scheduled for 1 hour and 50 minutes, and so an impressive performance, and what really stood out, some great defense and some timely hitting for Team Panama. They really showed their bats.
Yeah, the timely hitting. Certainly the bases loaded double by Nick Veras there back in the third inning after a couple of errors, a bad rundown. Actually, 2 bad rundowns cost a couple of other runs where they could have been out of the inning. Of course, Team Panama ends up taking advantage of it. As you mentioned, the 2 sliding catches by Bradfield really stood out on the defensive side.
Our next game on this field at 4 o'clock on MLB.com, the MVP Banditos and the West Pine Cobras Blue. And I know you're really looking forward to getting to see this MVP Banditos squad. They have a lot of real big stars on the team.
They do, and when you look at them, they're 2 normally on their own. They're very good teams and good programs and some of the best that we've seen in the country. So now having them combined, this is one of those superstar teams, we'll say, for this age group.
Well, they're getting the field prepared. We'll have the second game of our doubleheader, the 13U semifinal and the 2015 USSSA Summer Championship Series here on MLB.com coming up shortly at the top of the hour in about a half an hour. And we're going to go off the air, but we'll be back in about a half an hour for Tyson Hanisch, Jim Duquette, and our entire crew. Bernie Gunther saying so long for now. 7-0 the final. Team Panama advances to the championship.